Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating connection: how your physical actions, specifically where you look and how you sound, literally command your ability to focus and connect with others. We often think of mental focus and deep emotional connection as these elusive, abstract states, right? Like sometimes you just have them and sometimes you don't. But what if you could hack your nervous system using nothing but your eyes and your vocal cords? Well, today we are unpacking the science from Dr. Andrew Huberman to show you exactly how to do just that. So here's our roadmap for today. First up, the foundation of focus. Second, narrowing your visual aperture. Third, the science of vocal tone. And finally, playing the emotional piano. Let's get into it. Starting off with Section 1, the foundation of focus. Okay, before we jump into the rapid, in-the-moment physiological hacks for focus, we really have to establish the non-negotiable baseline of human performance. Look, you simply cannot out-hack a broken foundation. Getting enough quality sleep for your specific body is absolutely the best thing you can do before attempting any high-level cognitive or physical work. It's the ultimate prerequisite for your mental health, physical health, and your optimal performance across the board, whether you're an athlete, a creative, or doing intense cognitive labor. And crucially, this isn't about forcing an arbitrary 8 hours. The exact amount differs from person to person. It's really about finding that precise amount of quality sleep your unique biology actually demands. If you don't have this dialed in, the tools we're going to cover, they just won't be as effective. Moving right along to Section 2, narrowing your visual aperture. All right, with our sleep foundation set, we can start leveraging real-time focus tools using our eyes. Have you ever sat down at your desk, opened a document, and expected your brain to just immediately lock in? If you struggle to concentrate instantly, please understand that this is perfectly normal. What you're experiencing here is cognitive friction. As the research highlights, the brain doesn't just switch on like a step function. It doesn't operate like an instant on-off switch where you just snap your fingers and boom, you're focused. It requires a biological ramp-up. So that friction you feel, it's not a lack of discipline. It's literally a necessary transition period for your neural circuitry. So instead of getting frustrated by that initial mental lag, you can actually command your brain to focus. How? By consciously dilating and contracting your visual field. You see, our visual system is essentially an extension of our brain that's located completely outside our skull. It's wild to think about. By physically narrowing what we allow our eyes to take in, we send a direct, incredibly powerful signal to the brain that it is time to zero in on a single task. Now here is a beautifully actionable protocol you can use right now. This isn't just abstract advice, it's a concrete, physical tool. By dedicating just 30 to 60 seconds to this visual exercise, you physically bridge the gap into a deep work state. First, pick an object placed at the exact same distance where you'll be working. Maybe it's a spot on your computer monitor. Now stare at it for up to a minute, and yes, blinking is totally allowed. As you stare, your mind is naturally going to want to drift. When it does, your job is to consciously narrow your visual aperture right back to that specific object. Force it to be the most prominent thing in your field of vision. The moment those 60 seconds are up, move directly into your work. You have literally just used your eyes to pull your brain into focus. Next up, Section 3, the science of vocal tone. Okay, so we've seen how visual inputs guide our own internal focus, but let's completely flip the perspective for a second. Let's look at how our auditory outputs control the emotional states of others. We're all familiar with this sound, the late-night FM DJ voice. You know, that smooth, low-pitched, incredibly calm tone. Well, dropping your pitch into that low-frequency register does way more than just sound cool. It actually triggers a very specific, measurable biological response in the brains of the people listening to you. It's basically a physiological hack for human connection. To put this into perspective, there is a stark biological contrast between how different voices affect the human brain. When you speak in a high, rapid, or panicky pitch, the listener's neurons literally cannot follow or match that high frequency. The connection is basically severed. But low-frequency sounds, they're a completely different story. They literally cause the other person's brain neurons to match your low-frequency tone. Their brain hears your voice and physically begins to fire at that exact same rhythm. Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, playing the emotional piano. Let's think about the ultimate results of this neurological mirroring. What does it actually mean when someone else's neurons start firing in time with your voice? Well, the scientific term for this incredible phenomenon is entrainment. When you speak in a low voice, the listener's brain entrains to you. This means their neurons aren't just passively hearing you, they're actively firing in the exact same low-frequency rhythm that your vocal cords are producing.
You are literally reaching across the space between you and syncing their nervous system up with yours. How amazing is that?
I absolutely love this imagery from Dr. Huberman. He says it's like you're essentially playing an emotional piano down in the low keys of their mind. By utilizing that low frequency voice, you change their emotional tone entirely. You bypass the chaotic surface level and literally play those deep low keys. You create this environment of calm, grounding, and immediate trust, all simply because of the physical frequency of the sound waves leaving your mouth. So, knowing that your physiological actions directly dictate neurological reality, how are you going to apply this body to brain pipeline today? The next time you feel distracted, remember that your absolute focus is just 60 seconds of visual narrowing away. And the next time you really need to connect, remember that your voice has the physical power to calm the mind of the person sitting across from you. These aren't just cool concepts, they're actual biological tools waiting to be used. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Start experimenting with these strategies, and let's see how much you can master your brain state today.